Hey everyone, it's Byron. I'm here to testify for Jesus Christ. What I wanted to cover was the fact that there is a Bible story that I want to go over, and it is similar to many things you see in the United States as it relates to um, political issues. And I'm going to cover the story in the Bible, and then I want to relate it to an event that's happening in Decatur, Alabama right now, and show you how that is happening. The story is in First Kings chapter 21 in the Bible. And I'm not gonna read the story. You can read it for yourself. I'm gonna kind of abbreviate it for the sake of time. But there was a king, and his name was Ahab. He was a king over Samaria, and beside where the king lived, there was a man named Naboth who had a vineyard, or you could say there was a man named Naboth who owned a garden nearby. And Ahab wanted to have the garden that Naboth had. So Ahab went over and talked to him, and Naboth refused. The reason Naboth refused is that this is my inheritance. I can't trade it. He actually wanted to trade it for a woman of his that was a little further away. So King Ahab got down and out, went and sulked and got in his bed, laid down, and his wife came in. His wife's name was Jezebel. Now Jezebel was pretty interesting character. There's a lot of characteristics about her. You've had songs and movies written about her. Songs sang about her and movies written, done. But anyway, a couple of things that's interesting. She was the daughter of a man named Ethbaal. And Ethbaal means with Baal, or you could say with the sun god. She was also into sun god worship, and she brought it into Baal worship, synonymous, into Israel, and led almost all the nation of Israel into sun god or Baal worship. I'm sorry, I thought my camera wasn't working the whole time I've been recording, so I'm starting back over, not back over, starting where I was. So Jezebel led Israel into Baal worship, with the exception of Elijah and I think 7,000 other people in Israel. But anyway, Jezebel went and wrote a letter. She stamped it with the king's ring. It was called a signet in the story. And she sent it out to a city and basically said, gather all the elders, y'all come in here, and let's hear this story that's going to be told. Now, the story that was going to be told was told by two people that are called sons of Belial. And when you hear sons of Belial or children of Belial, you can just think of a worthless person, someone who can tell a lie and it won't bother them. No conscience. Their conscience is seared. In one case, sons of Belial was used to describe homosexual men that were wanting to rape another man. See what another case might have been. There's the word wicked is synonymous with it. But anyway, basically Jezebel recruited some worthless people to give false testimony about Naboth. And they stated to the people of the town, these men have blasphemed God and the king. Now, when those two sons of Belial, or worthless people, did so, the city decided to take Naboth out and kill him. They stoned him with stones. So I tell you the story just to tell you that in today's world, if you can see a lot of things going on. Sometimes you see assassinations. Sometimes you see something that's like a character assassination. And you'll see people telling stories. They can tell lies and never blink an eye. They can tell lies. It doesn't bother them. They'll tell a lie, apologize, and go on to the next lie. Apologize and go on to the next lie. It never slows. They never think, when am I going to stop lying? Because they're worthless people. They're sons of Belial. They're people whose conscience has been seared, and they're hired or they're used by people or Jezebels, almost like puppets on a string. Now, in the modern day, I'm going to show you a church in Huntsville, Alabama. It's First Baptist Church of Huntsville, Alabama. And you see this picture. You can see a solar system, and in the center of the solar system, you see a man's figure. You think it's Jesus Christ. And you also see the Greek letters Alpha and Omega. But if you look right there, dead center, you see the sun. So this is a church that has the solar system or sun right on the side of it. And I can tell you that that is an emblem of sun worship. So you have, and there's many other emblems of sun worship that you'll find throughout the country, throughout, plastered on churches, churches that claim, we worship Jesus Christ, the Son of God, but they have emblems of sun worship in them. So there's been an infiltration. Somehow this infiltration occurred, just like it happened when Jezebel married Ahab, and she came over from the city she came from was Tyre. Her father was the king of Tyre, I think. So she brought in Baal worship into Israel, and so also has Freemasonry brought Baal worship into our churches. Now, Freemasonry has various degrees and various levels, and you're going to run into a ton of Freemasons that will tell you I'm lying, and they'll believe with all their heart that I am. But I've done some research. I've done 2 videos on the subject. Freemasonry, the Jezebel in the Church, Part 1, and Freemasonry, Jezebel in the Church, Part 2, and my YouTube channel called JuniperTreeandBeyond.com. Excuse me, leave the .com off on YouTube. Juniper Tree and Beyond, all one word. Anyway, so what's happened is some people from sun worship have entered into the churches. People don't know who they are. And then they slowly but surely bring about change within the church. And the easiest way to detect the change for me, the way I was able to detect it, I kept on wondering, why is my church continually teaching me how to do right from wrong? Well, you got to do better at this, you got to do better at that. And I was failing left and right. Finally, I stopped listening to what people were saying, and I started reading the Bible. And I came to the point where I realized the Spirit of God will lead you, guide you, and help to mortify the deeds of your body, your flesh. When I got to that point, I realized, okay, now why is that spoken of very little over there? And they're working on trying to get you to be a better person when the Spirit of God can do that too. So anyway, that was my small little break from the real story. What I want you to know is that inside Decatur, Alabama right now, there's a case going on. The case is a Steve Perkins case, a black man who was shot at about 1:30 at night by supposedly one police officer, and I think that's true. But 3 police officers were on the scene with others just short, not that far from the scene, ready to reinforce, I guess you could say. But now the investigation is going on, and people are saying this and people are saying that, and various other things are happening. I just want people to know that within this particular case here in Decatur, Alabama, I know of the operatives from Freemasonry. 3 of them I sent letters to about 1.5 years or so ago. If you look at the date on the Freemasonry videos that are on my YouTube channel, I'll have it on the screen here while I'm talking about it. I sent 3 of those, three of the people that are involved in this situation, letters that long ago, telling them or warning them about Freemasonry and they need to get out. Well, lo and behold, one of them is, one of the main figures now, and leading people and telling a lie here and telling a lie there, but also he's not only doing it himself, but he has people working for him. He gathers up a group of people, and they're doing various things, spreading various lies or saying things that can't be proven. And that's happening in Decatur, Alabama right now. So the story of Jezebel and how she got Naboth's vineyard is playing out in Decatur, Alabama right now. If you were to come here, or you go to YouTube, Decatur, Alabama City Council, and listen to some of that, you could say the mayor has a vineyard, and the mayor's vineyard is named Decatur. Well, they've asked for the Decatur mayor's resignation. The chief of police, you could say he has a vineyard. It's Decatur, Alabama. They've asked for the chief of police resignation. But they've done so before there was a legitimate investigation. They've done it in the midst of lies of the sons of Belial. And that's the point I want to make. Solomon said, "There's nothing new under the sun." This story, this thing, and how it's playing out in Decatur, Alabama right now is also the same modus operandi that happened way back in Ahab and Jezebel's day. You can also, and I have not voted in a presidential election since, man, that dude from Texas, he was a long time ago, Ross Perot. That's the last time I voted. I haven't liked any president that came along. But if you just watch the news, the ones that they really don't want to have in power, such as Donald Trump, there's always a character assassination going on about that. It's not necessarily that he's done all that they say, which is very well could be some of it, but they keep something going on all the time. It happens anytime somebody wants that position or wants that person out or wants to defame them or do a character assassination. It's the same mode of operation. They did it to Bill Cosby. It happens very often. Somebody will come from 20 years later, they'll come up with a story saying this happened, and everybody, all right. So I just wanted to share that story because I'm watching it play out. Like the president of the NAACP here in Decatur, Alabama, stopped the bridge of traffic that comes into Decatur. It's a U.S. highway, 2-lane bridge. And he stated the reason he stopped the bridge was that his car broke down. So he's been called out on that lie already, but it's not just him. It's many others. I've heard testimony from people inside a city council meeting saying that somebody said this as if it were true. And then when I go back and check videos, it's not true. So there is a huge push right now in Decatur, Alabama to get the vineyard, which is maybe the police chief's position, maybe the mayor's position. And I don't know the police chief personally. I don't know how good of a job he's doing. Nor do I know the mayor personally or how good of a job he's doing. But what I do know is that I don't see any reason for somebody to be removed from a job based on the last stage of an investigation. So, before an investigation comes out with the results, there's plenty of time to tell lies, and you got to avoid following those lies. So that's the story of Ahab, Naboth, Jezebel, and the sons of Belial. And that is one instance that I have playing out in my hometown right now, in which you can see it. And you can think, well, how do you get Jezebel as Freemasonry? And merely it's Freemasonry has brought sun worship into the church. There is a scripture in the Bible, Revelation chapter 2, starting at 18, I think. It talks about the church of Thyatira. And the one thing that Jesus is upset about that church is that you suffer or tolerate Jezebel. And that Jezebel is Freemasonry today. So I'm going to let you go, and I will see you later. Oh, don't forget, there's tons of Freemasonry. They don't understand the depth and breadth of Freemasonry. Because when you want to talk about spiritual wickedness in high places, there's Freemasonry. Freemasonry is like the extension of the tribe of Dan, all the way way back in the old days when they were the northern tribe. They didn't like their first inheritance, so they moved from the coast all the way up into the north part of Israel near Tyre, where Jezebel came from. So the tribe of Dan is being used to judge the world now. And by judge, I mean the United States is under judgment now. That's why this turmoil is starting. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. Bye.